Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, One Book or Novel at a Time. Here I am, ready to read to you another sad, tragic, and ghostly story. I will be reading La Llorona, the Weeping Woman by Joe Hayes. It is illustrated by Vicki Trego, and this book is told in Spanish and English, but I will be reading it to you in English. Once again, La Llorona, the Weeping Woman by Joe Hayes. Goes like this. This is a story that the old ones have been telling to children for hundreds of years. It is a sad tale, but it lives strong in the memories of the people, and there are many who swear that it is true. Long years ago, in a humble little village, there lived a fine-looking girl named Maria. Some say she was the most beautiful girl in the world, and because she was so beautiful, Maria thought she was better than everyone else. As Maria grew older, her beauty increased. She would not even look at the young men from her village. They weren't good enough for her. When I marry, Maria would say, I will marry the most handsome man in the world. And then, one day, into Maria's village rode a man who seemed to be just the one she had been talking about. He was a dashing young ranchero, the son of a wealthy rancher from the southern plains. He could ride like a Comanche. In fact, if he owned a horse and it grew tame, he would give it away and go rope a wild horse from the plains. He thought it wasn't manly to ride a horse if it wasn't half wild. He was handsome, and he could play the guitar and sing beautifully. Maria made up her mind. That was the man for her. She knew just the tricks to win his attention. If the ranchero spoke when they met on the pathway, she would turn her head away. When he came to her house in the evening to play his guitar and serenade her, she wouldn't even come to the window. She refused all his costly gifts. The young man fell for her tricks. That haughty girl, Maria, he said to himself. I know I can win her heart. I swear I'll marry that girl. And so, everything turned out as Maria planned. Before long, she and the ranchero became engaged, and soon they were married. At first, things were fine. They had 2 children, and they seemed to be a happy family together. But after a few years, The ranchero went back to the wildlife of the prairies. He would leave town and be gone for months at a time. And when he returned home, it was only to visit his children. He seemed to care nothing for the beautiful Maria. He even talked of setting Maria aside and marrying a woman of his own wealthy class. As proud as Maria was, of course she became very angry with the ranchero. She also began to feel anger towards her children because he paid attention to them, but just ignored her. One evening, as Maria was strolling with her two children on the shady pathway near the river, the ranchero came by in a carriage. An elegant lady sat on the seat beside him. He spoke and stopped to see his children, but he didn't even look at Maria. He whipped the horses up on the street. When she saw that, a terrible rage filled Maria, and it all turned against her children. And although it is sad to tell, the story says that in her anger, Maria seized her two children and threw them into the river. But as they disappeared down the stream, she realized what she had done. She ran down the bank of the river, reaching out her arms to them. But they were gone. On and on ran Maria, driven by the fear that filled her heart, until finally she sank to the ground and lay still. The next morning, a traveler brought word to the villagers that a beautiful woman lay dead on the bank of the river. That is where they found Maria, and they laid her to rest where she had fallen. But the first night Maria was in the grave, the villagers heard the sound of crying down by the river. At first, they thought it was only the wind they were hearing, but when they listened more carefully, they heard words. "Ay, my children!" A boy sobbed pitifully. "Where are my children?" And they saw walking up and down the bank of the river, dressed in a long white robe, the way they had dressed Maria for burial. On many a dark night, they saw her walk the riverbank, but more often they would hear her cry for her children, and so they no longer spoke of her as Maria. They called her La Llorona, the weeping woman, and by that name she is known to this day. But they still warn the young ones. When it grows dark, get inside the house. La Llorona may be about, looking for her children. Be careful. She might mistake you for one of her own and take you. They tell of many children down through the years who have been chased by the crying ghost, and of some who have even been caught. Is the story really true? Who knows? Some claim that it is. Others say that it isn't. But the old ones still tell it to the children, just as they heard it themselves when they were young. And in the same way, the children who hear it today will someday tell it to their own children and grandchildren. Wow, what a tragic story. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in to One Book or Novel at a Time. Don't forget to tune in back in for a special treat that goes along with this story as well. Thank you for listening. Have a spectacular day.